Are you struggling to hit Legend this month? Or are you looking for a deck to push rank 1? Do you like really big minions and Wind Fury? Well, I have the deck for you. Hey there, today we're talking about Mech Rogue, and I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to master this deck. The win condition for this deck is to magnetize a really big minion, give it Wind Fury, and hit the opponent in the face. It's pretty simple. When playing this deck, there's 3 things you need to keep in mind. First is win the board. This deck needs to be in control of tempo. If you lose the board, it's really challenging to get it back. This deck has 3 strong 1-drop minions, and you need to use them to win the board early. Frequency Oscillator is great for getting another minion out early, and Click Clocker is great for buffing your hand and having Divine Shield to stick on the board. If you start to lose the board with this deck, don't be afraid to go all in to win it back. Using Prep with Bone Spike or Eviscerate, using Spark Bots for efficient trades, or using your dagger and face tanking are all great ways to win the board back. If you fully lose the board, really the only ways to win it back are Crabatoa, where you can trade in the claws and use the weapon, or the Prison of Yogg-Saron, which sometimes will help, sometimes will hurt. Okay, on to tip number 2, get big. The strategy for every game with this deck is play a minion on 1 and then magnetize something on turn 3. In the deck list I'm running, there's 3 options for magnetizing. Ideally, you can magnetize the Coppertail Snoop. It does more damage and you're going to start generating coins. I run 1 copy of Bronze Gatekeeper in my deck for a little bit extra beef to stay on board. You don't really want to use the spider to magnetize an attack. It's better to attack and then put the spider on it so you have the stealth for next turn. The dream scenario is that you prep pit stop the squirrel on 2 and you play it with the coin. You're going to win that game every time. When you build a big minion, use it and hit them in the face. Don't trade. Other than magnetizing 3 drops, you can use Invent-o-matic plus Spark Bots to build really big minions. Hitting a Wind Fury Spark Bot is game breaking. Magnetize it to a big minion and smash them in the face. Remember, this is not an OTK deck. You don't need to save your resources to build a giant minion that kills them in 1 turn. You want to apply as much pressure as you can. Even if you don't kill them, you can use Eviscerate, Crabatoa, or Voltron to get over the top and kill them. Okay, the final tip for playing this deck, stealth. Knowing how to protect your minions is key to mastering this deck. You can use the spider or the stealth spark bot to hide your big minions until the next turn. However, you really need to know what clears your opponent has. There are a lot of warlocks on ladder right now. On turn 3, don't leave 5 health on the board. They're gonna kill it with Mortal Eradication. This happened countless times on my last stream. Warriors and rogues have a lot of targeted removal, so using stealth is really strong against them. Unfortunately, there's no great way to avoid silences, so if you're playing a priest, you might want to go a bit wider. However, don't be afraid of their clears. This deck is the aggressor, and you need to put pressure on them to force out their clears. Okay, mulligan guide. This part's pretty simple for this deck. Most important, you have to have 1 drops. 1 is good, 2 is better. Next, you want a 3 drop. Ideally, it's a squirrel. If not, you can use Bronze Gatekeeper. Prep plus pit stop also works. After that, it all comes down to matchup. If you're going to be fighting for the board, keep more minions, especially 1 drops. Keep Prep, Eviscerate, Serrated Bone Spike, all really strong cards. If you know you're going to be the aggressor, take Pit Stop, take Pozzik, or take Mimiron. The final option is if you have From the Scrapheap and either Invent-o-matic or Mimiron. Those are really strong combos that you can use to put a ton of pressure out early game. There are a lot of variations of this deck out there, especially with the new mini set. Let me know in the comments what's working for you. If you want to see this deck in action, check out this video where I played it on stream. And if you want to see more deck guides in the future, make sure to like and subscribe.